what your path. All right. Bear me just a minute. Bear me just a minute. For some more instance. Right? Order their way aright. So how are you ordering your way aright? Through the scriptures. That's how you order your way aright. Bear me just a minute. I do like to get my incense on deck. This is saffron, by the way. Okay. Them sweet smells. Okay. But order our way aright unto Yahweh Yahushai. Right? And he will guide you in the path of truth. Right? You may fall sometimes, you may slip, but ultimately he's going to guide you if you're ordering your way aright. And guess what that takes? Trust. Belief. Right? That's what it takes. So what are we going to do? Order our way right in this what? In this word. And Yahushua will do the rest. Right? Everything else will be what? Dealt with. Okay? That's the mentality we gotta have. Okay, nothing less. Anything less would be uncivilized. Right? And it says, trust in him, ye that fear the Lord Yahushua, wait for his mercy. Wait. Be patient. Right? Wait. So if you're waiting, you're patient. Okay, I keep seeing these fours as well. A four represents mercy. Wait. Right? Everybody in this world, they want a quick meal. They want it now. They want it instant gratification. Now. This truth teaches us to be what? Patient. Okay? That's what this truth teaches us. Just wait. Okay? Yahushua knows what he's doing. Okay? And it says, bear me just a minute, bear me just a minute. You that fear the Lord, hope for good. Right? I'm moving too fast, bear me just a minute. You that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside. Okay? Lest ye fall. That's why a lot of our people fall. Because they don't wait. So what? They bear up. Okay? Go not aside. Right? Lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. So your reward, your righteous reward, is not going to fail because you believe in him. You trust in him. It's simple, but we make things difficult at times, you know. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good. So that's got to be our expectation. Hope for good, not bad, right? The wicked are hoping for bad. Okay? We hope for good, right? We have that righteous, that good expectation, right? If you have that mindset, oh, I don't know if I'm of the elect, and you tell yourself that, I'm going to be destroyed, then more likely you may be destroyed. You can't have that mindset. You've got to believe, well, I'm doing what the hopeful elect would do. I'm giving my sure diligence. I'm being brotherly. Okay, I'm working out my own salvation. So you've got to believe that you may be of that number. Okay? He says, look at the generations of old and see, did any ever trust in the Lord Yahushua? That's why you got to read upon what? Our forefathers, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Daniel. Okay? All our ancient prophets. They trusted in the Lord and they were delivered from what would seem to the eye as impossible situations. But Yahushua delivered them from these situations. Just how Yahushua is going to deliver us from these situations. You just have to believe in them. Okay? And was confounded. So none of the hopeful elect were confounded. Right? Because they trusted. They had that belief, they had that assurance. Right? Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and everlasting joy. Then you're abiding in his fear and was forsaken. So you're abiding in the fear. That's the beginning of wisdom, the fear of Yahushua and was forsaken. Were they left? Were they just left destitute? The answer is no, and that's a rhetorical question. So in other words, are you going to fear Yahushua? Is he just going to leave you out there? No. Yahushua is very merciful. You got to remember that. As much as his judgment is very harsh, he's very merciful. Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? That's why it's so important to call upon Yahushua day in, day out, praying. And this last week, there's been certain things that have been going on, you know, and Satan will try to hinder you from praying, you know. You've got to rebuke that. Satan will get up in your thoughts telling you you're not worthy. You've got to rebuke that straight away. Rebuke them thoughts, right? Satan will get up in there. Say, no, don't pray. Then you leave it, and it gets longer. Then you become more faint. And when you become more faint, Satan can work upon that. Doubt. Because Satan works upon doubt. Satan loves doubt. He loves when you doubt yourself. That's why you got to have faith. Right? He works upon that. Right? And very pitiful. And forgiveth sins. And saveth in the time of affliction. So when the brothers are going through what they're going through, martial law, apartheid Egypt, they're going to be saved in what? That time of affliction. Okay? And it says, woe be to the fearful hearts. So we can't, this ain't the time to be fearful. Woe, destruction to the fearful hearts. You can't be fearful. You might be fearful for a little amount of time, but you got to snap out of it. Right? Woe to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinners that goeth two ways. Right? Two ways when you're double-minded. Right? And we don't want to be that way. We don't want to be, oh, what? One day, yeah, you know, you want to be on fire, but the next day you're not too sure. Double-minded. That's a sinner that goes two ways. Right? Okay? And it says, let me just a minute. Slight winds. Let me just a minute. For the Lord is full of compassion, right? Very full of, loads of compassion, right? And he's full of it. Okay? And mercy and long suffering. That's what we can't forget. And long suffering. So the Lord, he's even patient with us, even when we mess up. Right? Because he deals with balance. Okay? And very pitiful. And forgiveth sins. So he pities us. Right? And forgiveth sins and safe in the time of affliction. Right? And that's what he's going to do to he pities his people. Beginning with the hopeful elect first. And secondary what? Those that are not even of the elect. Right? And saveth in the time of affliction. Therefore, woe unto him that is faint-hearted. Faint-hearted is what? Weak in the spirit. You can be weak in the flesh, but you don't want to be weak in the spirit. That is faint-hearted, right? And the scriptures talk about those that are faint-hearted, what they should do. The scriptures tell you about that in the law. I think somewhere in Deuteronomy 20, the scripture says you should return back home. Because if you don't, that's going to spread, right? That doubt, right? That fearfulness is going to spread. And it's contagious. It's very contagious. The unbelieving spirit is very contagious, right? And it spreads. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, right? That's why you always want to check the men that are around you. Are you all right today? How are you feeling? Even though I ain't about your feelings, but you understand what I'm saying. How you feel? I'm talking about according to the Spirit. How you feeling? Are you ready to go? That's how you have to be around the Akiyam. Right? Are you ready to go? You know? Speak to your brothers. Let them know. Right? And the faint hands. Woe to him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. So the reason why someone's faint-hearted is because they simply don't believe. Right? That's why. Because if you did believe, you wouldn't be faint-hearted. You would show faith. Right? And you would amplify faith. And that's why I always say this. It's one thing turning up to camp, you know, looking good for the camera. When nobody else is around you, how are you? You gotta maintain that same energy, right? You have to, okay? Therefore, he shall not be defended. So those that don't believe, how do you expect to be defended, right? How do you expect to be defended if you don't believe? You're only going to be defended if you believe, right? That's how Yahushua is able to protect you, to defend you, right? Woe to you that have lost patience. We can't lose patience because Yahushua is patient with us. So how are you going to lose patience with someone that creates patience and puts the patience within you? It's because men, they don't see anything. Look what's going on with the tensions. This should make you excited and further move you to do this work. Things are happening. Okay? Things are happening. Okay? And what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? So what are you going to do when Yahushua comes back and you no longer have faith? Right? That's why this is so serious, to stay occupied, okay, in this truth, right? Remain occupied, remain faithful. Now let's go to Matthew. I'm just flowing with the Spirit, you know? You never know what you're going to bring out. Okay, let's go to Matthew 25. See what we can find. We got to continue to endure. Matthew 25, 24. Actually, let's start at 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened. Right? It doesn't mean that it's going to be no more sun, it's going to be darkened. Right? In other words, things are going to be pitch black. Right? It's going to be fires, power cuts, all these different things. Okay? And the moon shall not give her light. And that's because what? It's going to be what? Complete what? Anarchy. Right? A lot of smoke. And what does smoke do? It blocks out the sun. The sun's going to be what? Blocked out. By what? Fire. By smoke. Right? And the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heavens shall be shaken. Right? The armies, it's going to be a lot of war, it's going to be a lot of anarchy. Right? Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Yahushua. Okay, and it's going to be during the period of what? World War III. The scriptures let us know in Revelation 14:9, as soon as them missiles hit, that's when Yahushua's going to crack through them clouds. Okay, bear me just a minute. Verse 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. Right? They shall gather together his elect from the four corners, from the four winds, Slakia, from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. That also shows you that our people are scattered amongst these different regions. Right? They are scattered. Okay? That's why it's known as what, the transatlantic slave trade. Our people were scattered. They were dispersed. Okay? Amongst the different nations. Okay? That's why you have such a thing as Israelite foreigners. Bear me just a minute. Incense keep going out. That's why you have such a thing as Israelite foreigners. Alright? So you have an elect, yes, that are scattered from the four winds, that are being gathered. Right? And what are they being gathered by? This word is the word that's gathering our people. That's why this word is known as an ensign. And what's an ensign? A flag. Right? That's what an ensign is, a flag. Right? Bear me just a minute. Excuse me. Alright? And it says, well, in verse 32, now learn the parable of a fig tree. Right? So when he would put forth these parables, it would be he would liken it to nature and different things. Okay? Learn this parable, this saying. Okay?